What's up, guys? I'm your teen librarian, Gina, and this is Judging by Its Cover, where you guys submit book covers via our Discord server, and I judge them. Not that kind of judging. I am not critiquing anyone's taste in literature. Instead, I'm going to have 30 seconds per book to try and guess what it's about based solely on its cover. And then we'll see how close I got. Are you guys ready? Okay, I'm guessing mystery based on the font. Whoever submitted it, they blocked out the titles, so no hints there. But, you know, it's kind of got a darker, kind of overshadowed tone. She's looking a little suspicious. I don't know if she's suspicious or suspicious of somebody else. Also, is that dynamite? That might be dynamite. So, mystery. Definitely mystery. Okay, here is the actual description of the book, which it turns out is titled The Body on the Train. So let's see how well I did with my guessing. In the darkness before dawn, a London railway porter discovers a man's body as he unloads a special goods train from Yorkshire. All means of identification stripped away, hitting a dead end, Scotland Yard call on indomitable sleuth Kate Shackleton, hoping her local Yorkshire knowledge and undoubted skills at winkling out information will produce the results they need. 1929, Yorkshire. Fears of unrest in Yorkshire coalfields mean that Kate must conduct her investigation with the utmost secrecy. But when she discovers that another murder occurred around the same time as the mysterious body on the train, she's convinced there must be a connection. Using her sharp instincts and persuasive charm, she begins to uncover a web of intrigue that edges her closer to the truth. But with attempts being made on her life, Kate needs all the strength and resourcefulness she can muster before she becomes the next victim. The 11th delightful murder mystery in the best-selling Kate Shackleton series set in 1920s Yorkshire. I think I was fairly close. I wasn't sure if she was the suspect. Apparently she's the detective, but I was pretty close, right? This is a fairly recent title, but you can kind of tell just from the font and like the I don't know, is that a shoe? I thought it was a feather. It's kind of like it feels more serious. Like, I don't know. I can kind of remember what it's about, but not quite. But yeah, kind of a more serious vibe, but it's also got a really bright cover. So I'm guessing happy ending, maybe? I don't know if the description would tell me. Alright, here is the actual description of Yoke. Jane Beck is barely getting by. She shuffles through fashion school, saddled with a deadbeat boyfriend, clout-chasing friends, and a wretched eating disorder that she's not fully ready to confront. But that's New York City, right? At least she isn't in Texas anymore, and is finally living in a city that feels right for her. On the other hand, her sister June is dazzlingly rich with a high-flying finance job and a massive apartment. Unlike Jane, June has never struggled a day in her life, until she's diagnosed with uterine cancer. Suddenly, these estranged sisters who have nothing in common are living together, because sisterly obligations are kind of important when one of you is dying. Yeah, I remembered there was illness involved. Like I said, I'm a little bit familiar with this book. Haven't read it, but the rest of it, yeah, I think it sounds hopeful. Familial reconciliation usually is. Okay, so we got kind of a dark cover. This font, the script looks a little bit like a runic, so I'm gonna say kind of like a supernatural, paranormal, maybe kind of an ancient, like demonic type of thing, or European of some sort, I'd guess. There's a sword involved, so I'm just gonna say adventure for sure, or like a kind of like a fighting type of thing, maybe Naruto-esque. Let's find out. Gideon the Ninth. The Emperor needs necromancers. The 9th necromancer needs a swordswoman. Gideon has a sword, some dirty magazines, and no more time for undead. I can't say that on YouTube or in library programming. Maybe. I don't know. Definitely not on YouTube. Well, probably not on YouTube. Brought up by unfriendly, ossifying nuns, ancient retainers, and countless skeletons, Gideon is ready to abandon a life of servitude and an afterlife as a reanimated corpse. She packs up her sword, her shoes, and her dirty magazines, and prepares to launch her daring escape. But her childhood nemesis won't set her free without a service. Harrowhark non-Aegismus, Reverend Daughter of the Ninth House and the Bone Witch Extraordinaire, has been summoned into action. The Emperor has invited the heirs to each of his loyal houses to a deadly trial of wits and skill. If Harrowhark succeeds, she will become an immortal, all-powerful servant of the resurrection. But no necromancer can ascend without their cavalier. Without Gideon's sword, Harrow will fail, and the Ninth House will die. Of course, some things are better left dead. I mean, nobody's mentioned as a demon specifically, but I think I got pretty close, kind of ancient. I don't think I said high fantasy. I got a little twisted up. Maybe not. I mean, yeah, no, this is high fantasy. It's not elves, but it's high fantasy. So we got kind of like a pastel blue. The main character is depicted but kind of grayed out, so I'm guessing something dealing with emotions, like kind of depressing, but not really. There's also like a lot of yellow, so again, kind of that's a really hopeful color. The font is very generic, so I'm gonna say probably fairly contemporary. I'm not entirely certain what the character's holding in their hand, so God, I don't know. I'm not good at this in 30 seconds. Dealing in dreams. Nala leads the fiercest all-girl crew in Mega City. That role brings with it violent throwdowns and access to the hottest bodega clubs. But the 16-year-old grows weary of the life. Her dream is to get off the streets and make a home in the exclusive Mega Towers, in which only a chosen few get to live. To make it to the Mega Towers, Nala must prove her loyalty to the city's benevolent founder and cross the border in a search for a mysterious gang, the Ashe Riders. Led by a reluctant guide, Nala battles other crews and her own doubts, but the closer she gets to her goal, the more she loses sight of everything and everyone she cares about. Nala must do the unspeakable to get what she wants, a place to call home. But is a home just where you live, or who you choose to protect? Yeah, I missed the supernatural, not supernatural, kind of more sci-fi, maybe dystopian? Dystopian sounds right, in this completely. I was thinking this was probably something more contemporary, but I did guess the kind of sadness. I mean, every book's got conflict, so I can't really say I guessed that, because that's fairly obvious. But underlying themes of hopefulness and versus the sadness, yeah, I was way off with this one. I had no idea. Alright, we got two main characters on the cover, very romantic atmosphere in the background, but kind of also supernatural too. I can't quite tell if the thing at the bottom that's kind of like wavy is like them standing in water, or if they're supposed to be tails. It could be like Fox's supernatural type of thing. There does kind of seem to be an eerie vibe, but I'm also definitely getting kind of like a romantic Romeo and Juliet-esque type of thing on this one. Wicked Fox. 18-year-old Gu Myung has a secret. She's a gumiho, a nine-tailed fox who must devour the energy of men in order to survive. Because so few believe in the old tales anymore, and with so many evil men no one will miss, the modern city of Seoul is the perfect place to hide and hunt. But after feeding one full moon, Myung crosses paths with Ji-hoon, a human boy being attacked by a goblin deep in the forest. Against her better judgment, she violates the rules of survival to rescue the boy, losing her fox speed, her gumiho soul, in the process. Ji-hoon knows Myung is more than just a beautiful girl. He saw her nine tails the night she saved his life. His grandmother used to tell him stories of the gumiho, of their power and the danger they pose to humans. He's drawn to her anyway. With murderous forces lurking in the background, Myung and Ji-hoon develop a tenuous friendship that blossoms into something more. But when a young shaman tries to reunite Myung with her bead, the consequences are disastrous. forcing Myung to choose between her immortal life and Ji-hoon's. I mean, not quite Romeo and Juliet. They're not on opposing sides of some major battle. He's kind of like an innocent and new to the world. But definitely kind of like that romance is definitely there. It's actually described in the blurb at the beginning that I didn't read as a fantasy romance. So there's the fantastical element, and I was right about the tales. So I'd call this one 50-50. I'd say I got pretty close. Those were our first 5 books for Judging by Its Cover. Thank you guys so much for tuning into the video. I hope you had fun watching me stumble around for 30 seconds per cover trying to figure out how to enunciate thoughts. I think we learned that you can't always judge a book by its cover, or at least that I can't, and that 30 seconds is not a whole lot of time to pass those judgments. If you want to submit book covers, feel free to join our Discord server. It's open for conversation 24/7. We also have live programs and events periodically. And yeah, I think that covers it for this video. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for tuning in, and see you on Discord.